Hey everybody, welcome to Local Business Hacks Podcast. I'm your host, Carl Case, and I'm on a mission to help you. Every week, we're going to be talking to local business owners and experts to get their best tips, tricks, and hacks to grow your business. This show is designed to teach you, inspire you, and motivate you to take massive action and start to build your future-proof business. Whether you're just starting off or you're taking your existing business to the next level, this episode is for you. So let's get started. Hey listeners, Carl Case, Head of Business Development at Referrizer, joined today by Jeff Stokes, President of Stride Fitness, calling today from Irvine, California. Jeff, welcome to Local Business Hacks.
Hey, glad to be here, Carl. I know we're on opposite coast, but it sounds like you might be making a trip out west here soon.
Yes, sir. I'll be on your coast in the morning. Super excited. But Jeff, let's get right into it. You are the president of a really emerging brand that has experienced the health and wellness world now for 20 plus years. And you don't overnight become the president of Stride Fitness. So talk to me about that journey and the steps that you took in order to come here.
Yeah, look, it has truly been a journey. And I love telling this story because to end up with Exponential, arguably one of the largest fitness players, health and fitness players in our industry, and to be the president of one of their brands, really right place, right time at this stage of my career. But really it all started in a small town back in the East Coast. I grew up in a small town, very modest upbringing, and I loved sports and I loved just that was my identity. And it led into the next best thing. If I wasn't going to play a sport and get paid for it, I played baseball. So I had dreams of making it to the major leagues, but I was always small, played Division III. It was always the underdog. But it also was the foundation for me to really fall in love with fitness and strength training and just the whole health and fitness industry. And so I started right out of college knowing nothing of what I was getting into. Sales, personal trainer, general manager, area director. I worked for Holiday Spas and Bally's. These are brands that don't even exist anymore. And then I fell into this role as a secret shopper. Right. And that seems a little interesting coming from kind of fitness, secret shopper, but it was the first consumer research consultant agency in the industry. I did this in my late 20s. I found a niche and I really got a chance to see the industry from a customer's point of view. And that was probably the best 3 years of my career, Carl, because I traveled the world. I got a chance to see clubs and studios at that stage in the industry globally. I spoke on an international panel representing the U.S. fitness industry, and it was just data, right? It was data on the experiences from the consumers. So I can kind of bore you with all the other pieces over this 25 years, but I've worked with some other blue bloods. I was a senior director for Lifetime Fitness for 10 years. I helped that brand launch from kind of a small Midwest brand to a global brand. Anytime Fitness, another powerhouse in the industry. I worked with Chuck and Dave for several years, and then now with Anthony and Expo. So I've been very blessed, but it's always been the experiences and just the passion behind this industry.
Awesome. Well, congrats, Jeff. Obviously, experience has paid off. Let's talk about Stride a little bit. Where's Stride today? How can people get involved? And at a high level, what is Stride Fitness?
Yeah, so great question. I appreciate we getting this in the early stages of the interview here. Look, Stride Fitness is a treadmill interval training concept that launched in 2017-18 in Pasadena, California. At that time, there was this emerging vertical of kind of this treadmill interval training, almost a running brand in New York, Mile High Run Club, in Equinox Precision Run, and then Stride out here in Pasadena. And so Anthony, being the brilliant CEO founder that he is, he identified this vertical pretty early, and we purchased the rights to really scale and franchise Stride. Great workout, great platform. We now have over 20 locations and will be growing extensively over the next 2 or 3 years. The curveball that we got and I got as a leader is we launched this in 2020. So nobody saw this coming, right? We were right place, right time. This thing was going to take off like all the other Expo brands. But strategically, we slowed down that growth in 2021 because of all the restrictions and guidelines that were put in place on the fitness industry. So we have, as they say in the industry, weathered the storm nicely and positioned for extensive growth now. And we feel really confident because treadmills probably the most known piece of fitness equipment in the industry the last 40 years, whether you have one at home, whether you've used it on vacation, at a hotel, whatever, step on it, press go, walk, jog, run. People know what a treadmill is. And then it's based on running and walking. And so it's the oldest sport in the world. And so combining that with interval training and strength training, it's just a great platform. So we're excited about the brand and the future of Stride Fitness.
Awesome. And for those of you that are trying to, check out Stride for yourselves, stridefitness.com, or how can they get involved?
Yeah, it's actually runwithstride.com. So I appreciate you bringing that up. The website is runwithstride.com. And that brings up a big part. Do you have to be a runner to be a member at Stride Fitness? And the answer is absolutely no. In fact, most of our members and most of our customers are not runners. This is not to train for a marathon or train for an event. This is a great HIIT workout, a great strength training workout combined with running intervals on a treadmill. We do have the Ultra Stride, which is a longer class. We do have a combo, which focuses on the core. We do have outdoor running classes. But at the end of the day, it is for non-runners. We have a lot of folks that walk the classes and get a great workout doing intervals and inclines, right? And so runwithstride.com.
Awesome. I remember my first time running or trying to run on a really high incline. I was a dead man 10 minutes later.
Oh, man, you'll feel it the next day in your glutes for sure, right? It's a different workout when you're on an incline. But, we use Woodway treadmills, which are the best, in my opinion, in that space. It is a night and day difference on your body and just in the experience. The other piece of Stride Fitness is you start together, you finish together. Outdoor running, folks have different paces. It's a nightmare, right? You got inclement weather. You've got a lot of different obstacles. It's not even safe for women these days. So you start together, you finish together. You have this certified Stride run coach that's leading the class. Crazy great sound system, lighting. It's almost a nightclub on treadmills. We want that energy to be high so that we can get you through that 45, 55-minute timeline. And whether you're walking it, running it, or jogging it, everybody is in this together. It's really a great format.
Amazing. Well, Jeff, I think that not that you've followed the same path, but a lot of executives that I speak to in our industries today come from the big box world. And whether they started as a sales agent, worked their way up to an area manager, a district manager, and then potentially getting the opportunity at a corporate level, there's an amazing difference when we look at big box versus boutique. And same from a customer perspective, membership retention, and what those results are that you're driving. Do you mind sharing some stories that molded you into bringing that big box mentality into Stride that maybe our potential franchisees could benefit from hearing?
Yeah, look, I've had the ability to watch the industry grow. So when I started, boutique fitness was not even a word. And really, it was about vanity and about how you looked more so than the health benefits, right? Bally's was not about total fitness, which was in their title. It was about selling memberships and then people coming and meeting folks at the gym, at the health club. So I've loved that it's evolved into much more of healthy living, the benefits of exercise, reduction of depression, helping mental health, all these other pieces that come into it besides just how you physically look. But to that point, I'll give you some good examples. When I was an executive for Lifetime Fitness and the boutique industry was starting to kind of creep into our territories, we would call this ankle biters. We would say, look, these studios coming in are taking a couple hundred members here, a couple hundred members there, but they're not providing this great experience that we were. And I was seeing it through this lens that, look, Lifetime, Equinox, very high-end quality, big box operations. And so, but we just couldn't figure out why people would go and pay more money for these boutique. Soul Cycle was starting to pop up. Orange Theory was starting to pop up. So then, again, going back to my initial piece to this presentation is experiences, right? I'm like, I got to go try these. So I became a member of an Orange Theory and I got it, right? 2-3 days a week. I would go there and have this incredible workout. And then I'd go back to my Lifetime and do some strength training. And so I learned that having 2 memberships was a benefit. And so I think boutique really has grown and taken over because three things. The experience is dynamic. You're going to go and have this just hour experience that is going to be results driven. And if you go 2 or 3 times a week, you're going to get results. Most of boutique fitness has a great product. The second is convenience. I could drive up, be on that treadmill at Stride Fitness in about 38 seconds after I park. And then I can actually take a class, leave, and either be at the office or go home, shower, do what I need to do. So convenience is a big part. I don't have to walk through the big box gym to get to my treadmill. And then the last is community. It is a huge piece to boutique fitness where it's a smaller segment, where big box, you have a lot of members. And this is the piece that we really struggled with in big boxes. You don't know all the members. Boutique, you can know every single member if you're really good at it. And you should know the people in the classes and milestones and accomplishments. And so that to me is what has emerged boutique fitness and why Stride Fitness is positioned perfectly, because we click all 3 boxes, right? Great workout. You come to Stride 2-3 times a week. You're going to burn some calories and get in good shape. 2, communities are awesome. A lot of our members get together and do events outside the studio and do like their first 5K. They might do a walk in the park. They might do a hike together. So it's very communal. And then 3, the convenience factor, right? We're located in areas that 3 to 5 mile radius can get in, take a class, and take off.
Awesome. So when we look at big box and where you are today, tell me some stories that you can relate to or that other people could potentially relate to that you bring with you today outside of obviously experiencing it for yourself.
Yeah. So a couple things. There was this emerging trend pre-COVID, and it's starting to come back, of folks that have 2 or more memberships. So, right, you have to have the disposable income first. So in these pockets where you can have a big box, and that's where the low dues, high volume model comes into play. So whether it's Planet or Crunch or Golds, $10, $20 a month, folks aren't really stressing about that showing up on their credit card. But when you're at $149, $179 for a boutique fitness membership, you're not going, right? You're going to consider that and say, is the value proposition here? But pre-COVID, there was 48% of big box members that had a second membership, predominantly at a boutique fitness. So that was growing. It was showing that whether it was a lifetime membership or a Planet membership, there was another one in there, almost half of big box members. The third and the fastest growing, and this is starting to come back, and the disposable income has to be there, is 3 or more memberships. And it was almost 20%. It was actually 18, 19% pre-COVID of folks that had 3 or more memberships. And when you think of it, wife likes something. My wife does yoga. She also wants a Stride membership. She also, right? So there's different preferences, and fitness has become a priority over luxury goods and alcohol. And so the shifting of how people are spending money in what we call the wellness economy was growing even before COVID. And it's even now growing at a faster pace, where I think everybody considers what can they do to improve their health if they were at high risk during the global pandemic. So we're about to really see this wellness boom. We're already seeing it, of folks that are shifting how they're spending their money. And again, it's not big box versus boutique or low dues, high volume versus luxury. There's enough for everyone, because we need more and more people to become members and be active. Same thing with digital. We are in the digital space at Expo. We know that we need to have different touch points, whether it's bricks and mortar, whether it's digital, whether it's in their home through our partnership with Amir and Lululemon. It's just touch points. We need more people in the world, but especially in the US, to be active. And we're just a piece to that puzzle.
It's so funny you said the Lululemon mirror. Mine comes today in 2 hours.
Boom.
So excited. I'll have Stride in my house.
Yeah, exactly. And look, we'll continue to grow that partnership with more and more of the Expo brands and more content. And the cool thing is, we've got this state-of-the-art Hollywood studio right across the street from our Irvine campus, and we produce that local. So we have live classes. We have some rock star instructors, not only at Stride and Fitness, but all 10 brands that are right across the street filming on a daily basis.
That's amazing. So, Jeff, let's talk a little bit about let's pick a topic. Our listeners today are in just shy of 100 countries, mainly focused in the health and wellness space. I'll give you the floor.
Yeah, look, I just closed out a franchise training, which is a 3-day, pretty comprehensive training for new franchisees that come on board at Stride. And it's part of all franchise systems, but at Expo, we really have an incredible kind of training and support model. And I give them 3-4 pretty simple takeaways that will help them be an owner. They're passionate. I really like my owners to have passion about the space and about the brand. How can they be good franchisees? And number one, I always say MPV, see your business through the MPV, and that is the member point of view. If you are making decisions in your business every single day through the member point of view, not your personal, not your general manager, not your coaches, that is all feedback that comes into play. But your members really are going to dictate your schedule. They're going to dictate your hours to an extent and some of the other decisions locally. And how you do that is you put yourself in a very vulnerable situation and you go in and you take classes, right? People will see me in classes and they'll be like, wow, that's the president of the brand. At that moment, no, I'm just a member sweating and trying to maintain my weight. I want to be able to have a nice dinner that night, maybe. So put yourself in a vulnerable situation. Don't worry about what people are thinking and just be a product of your product. And then I say, take that outside and go to local competition. Go to big box, go to yoga, right? Understand the industry from the member's point of view and what the member has as options or what the consumer has as options in your market, whether you are in Canada, Australia, the UK, wherever you've got folks that are listening to this podcast, just know your competition. The other one that I always say, it's about the people, and you've got 2 buckets there. One is your members, right? They have to have a world-class experience every single day that they come to your studio, and it's got to be the best hour of their day. I say this all the time, right? People are stressed. People have a lot of shit on their plate, right?
Get it out on the treadmill.
Yeah, throw it out on the treadmill, sweat it out, have a good workout, go on with your day. But it needs to be the best hour of our members' day. If it's a guest and it's their first time, it needs to be a rock star experience. And always keep that in mind. And then, not to lengthen this, have fun, right? This is the fitness industry. And so the leadership style as an owner of a franchise or a general manager of a studio needs to be, right, fun. Or you're not working at a cubicle in a bank or in somewhere that maybe doesn't have that culture. And so folks want to feel good about their experience when they come in, celebrating milestones, celebrating birthdays, celebrating, anniversaries. The more you know about your members, the less likely they're going to cancel. If you build these connections, it's going to be hard for them to walk up to you one day and say, "Hey, Carl, I'm canceling my membership." If you move, I get it. If you've got a financial situation that you can't afford it, I get it. But when it comes to relationships, that should never happen in our space. And so we preach that over and over to our franchisees about building relationships with the people, making it fun. And oh, by the way, be vulnerable, get yourself out there, get on the treadmill, walk, jog, run, do what you got to do, but be part of the product.
I love that. Jeff, thank you so much. We're almost out of time. So if you have one more story that you want to share, love you to.
Yeah, you know what? I think just in summary, and when I look back, it's weird because now being one of the older executives versus being one of the younger executives, time flies by. But it's really been my motto my entire career is lead by experiences, both as a dad, as a brand president, as a husband, and that healthy living has been a key spoke to who I am and how I identify, to the point that I want my kids to be able to grow into healthy adults. I want them to be aware of the benefits that what I do professionally benefits them personally. And so just really blessed that I've been in this industry as long as I have. For your listeners, enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed it the last 25 years. Being at this piece right now where I'm building a brand with the largest boutique fitness franchisor in the world is absolutely a blessing. And so I don't take that for granted. I'm thankful every day. And my team is, on board to grow this into a global, one of the largest franchises in the world.
I love that. And for our listeners, Jeff's super humble about his kids. One of them is, one wanted to be a Hollywood actor. And Jeff, I'll let you tell everybody, that he's accomplishing his dreams.
Yeah. So I'm no longer really Jeff Stokes, the president of Stride. I am the dad of Chase Stokes. And so my oldest son, and look, it's the story that you hear. It wasn't, hey, I moved to Hollywood and my first audition, I get picked up and this big role happened. He went through 2, 3, 4 years of just challenging times. And thank God he finished college. I kept him in that path. And this was all post-college, but he landed the role of a lifetime. He is the lead character in the Netflix show Outer Banks, John B. And so I'm John B's dad, and season 3 will be coming out sometime in early 2023. And he's enjoying the fruits of being a young Hollywood actor at the moment, which still comes with some challenging times and emotional roller coasters. But he will say that the experiences that he had as a kid and being active, he was a hockey kid, still likes to play hockey, has really carried him through some of the tougher times, going through this journey. And now I've got 2 younger ones, one that plays baseball and one is a very high-level ballet dancer. And so again, just want them to follow their passions, but keep healthy living at a centerpiece to their focus.
That's amazing. Well, congrats again, Jeff. And thank you for today. We greatly appreciate you sharing your story. And obviously for anybody that wants to connect with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, you can reach out to me via email, which is jeff@runwithstride.com. We try to keep it easy and love to answer any questions. Again, it's been a great journey. I've got tons of stories I could share. We only tipped the iceberg today, Carl, so we could go on and on, but just reach out. I'd be glad to help folks along in their career, really at this stage as a mentor and really as the brand president of an emerging brand that you'll see continue to pop up all across the country and the world over the next 2-3 years.
That's amazing. Well, cheers, Jeff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's it for this week's episode. I hope you found it helpful. Be sure to head over to our site, local-business-hacks.com, to check out the show notes and send me questions or ideas for future episodes. If you want to grow your business, just like the people you've heard from here, follow Local Business Hacks Podcast and tune in for new tips, tricks, and tactics. Until next time, thanks for listening and keep hacking.